Hello, hello. And thank you, Ashley, for subscribing. Hi, everybody. I'm running 2 seconds behind. 2 seconds behind. I was watering my plants and one spilled all over me. How is everybody doing? I have my second cup right here. Ooh, thank you, Princess. Princess has posted how to link your Twitch to your Discord. Earl Grey, thank you so much for subscribing and letting me know that alerts are back. That's good. Last stream they were broken. A few things were broken last stream. Oswin, thank you so much. Thank you for the Prime sub. Hot damn, 26 months. Thanks for building the best community, Quack. Thank you for the building blocks, right? Inu with the gifted. TY, double alerts. I think I usually have like a light on. Hype train started. Let's go. Let's go, LFG. This is my coffee today. It has a string on it. That's great. Pandarin, thank you so much. Ayo, I made it. Raynard, thank you so much. Finally catch a stream again. It's been a while. Thanks for being here. I'm gonna turn that light on. I think it's usually on. The lighting is not what I'm used to. Oh, I also have this curtain closed. That's probably it. That's... Open that up. I think that changed something. And then I have this light on usually. And I don't have this light on usually. Does that look more? Princess, yay! That sounded very cool. Does this look more normal? No, I think we're just gonna lose the normal wars here. Ooh. Howdy Hill, thank you so much for the Prime subby. Cleaning up my closet, glad to catch the stream to keep me company. Thank you. Not a big announcement. Let's not say big announcement. Evasive, thank you so much. If you follow us on, if you're a part of our Discord community, I have started a new little channel on there, called Garage Sale. And I started it like at midnight or something last night, so it might be all fucked up. So I started on our Discord. If you follow us on Discord, there is now a channel called Garage Sale. And I was thinking, like, if we have stuff in our community that we can, you know, that you are... Oh, yeah. That's what didn't look right. My mic wasn't here. I'm so sorry, guys. I was like, what's missing? What's wrong? My mic was, gone. Thank you, Inu. That reminded me. So, let me say a normal sentence that a normal person thinks of. If you have some things that you are looking to get rid of or you don't have room for, and maybe you don't use Depop, or you feel like you have something really specific that this community would enjoy, I have started a garage sale channel on our Discord. I follow Secret Heart on Discord, and she has something pretty similar called, like, Flea Market. And I follow her flea market channel. It's usually people who have bought shirts and they're like, hey, I'm selling this, or like, it's too big. So I thought we could do something cool like that too. But it doesn't, I mean, you could be like, hey, I got all these fucking stickers. Does anybody want these extra stickers? Just pay shipping or whatever, or don't. So it's kind of like that, kind of an unofficial little whatever. So I think best practices are to post a picture of the thing and be like, hey, I'm getting rid of this thing. You know what I mean? So, why am I having such a hard time explaining such a simple concept? If you have something you want to get rid of, there is now a channel for that on my Discord, and you can use it. If you abuse it, though, I will ban you. So let's not make people worried that they're gonna get ripped off or something. Because I'll just kill you. So don't rip anybody off, or I don't know, do evil. Don't be evil. Intended to be free or trade. I guess it's really up to the person. There's this thing in Canada, I think it's called Boots or something like that, where it's kind of like a similar thing, like a website, and you're like, oh, I have this, you know, I have this Hello Kitty Gundam, but I'm moving. Does anybody want it? And people can say yeah. Or, I don't know, if you bought something and you're like, hey, I bought this, I don't have any use for it. I paid $100 for it. I'll sell it for $45. Something like that, you know what I mean? Definitely, you know, last stream we were talking about community and how there's not really a lot of spaces for that anymore. We've been dealing with my partner's parents who are hoarders, and Comosaurus Rex, 11 months, let's celebrate with a new boot instead of my nasty cast size. Also, my dog hurt its neck. Thoughts and prayers. Oh my god. Thoughts and prayers. Oh, my dog hurt his neck. I'm so sorry. Yes, you are in our thoughts. The Bunny app in Canada, something like that. If you abuse the Discord, then you get the cattle prod. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be a way to, like, offload, you know, if you're a Depop girly, I don't think it'll replace your Depop girly isms, but, you know, I know a lot of us collect Squishmallows or have, like, a little fucking thing. We've been kind of dealing with my partner's parents' house, and one of the things that gets really difficult is that his parents don't want to throw anything out. They want to donate it to Philly Free Cycle, and Philly Free Cycle is kind of like Reddit but worse. It's like it's its own website that's horrible and impossible to use. So in the spirit of kind of Free Cycle and community and things like that, I thought that this could be kind of helpful. Surely, like the rest of our Discord, it'll develop its own vibe, but it is brand new. And if it just helps you kind of clean, or, you know, I think a lot of it's like concert season. I could see some of us ending up with something that is better suited for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, I went to ATEEZ last year, which is a K-pop supergroup, and I ended up with like a ton of stickers and things like that that I kind of had no business having, and I found out that a lot of you guys were fans. So, you know, something like that, if you have a little fucking something that you think one of us might, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? AT screaming. Yeah, yo. Here's my ice cream cone. I should probably put that in there. Does the battery still work? You got a lot of nerve. My batteries are dead. I used it once. Well, my whole justification was I would use this as my my flashlight, and that it would be my $80 flashlight. I guess I think I have AAA batteries up here. Kevin Hart has a vegan fast food location. God, he has his hands in everything. Is it in Philly? I mean, that would make sense. I feel like, I mean, I don't actually know. Damn. It's AA batteries up here. These batteries look sus as hell. I got these from the concert. I shouldn't be storing it with batteries in it anyway. I'm like this close to buying a Stacy light stick. Is that how we're pronouncing it? That's how I pronounce it. Leaving the batteries in can break the light stick, so take them out. Yeah, I should know better. I guess I really thought the emergency would come up where I have to use this thing. Yeah, that's my fucking ATEEZ light stick. It's pronounced like Stacy. Okay. Cool. That's what I've been saying. Sometimes I do say steak. I feel like I'm the only one who doesn't understand or wants to learn Discord. Yeah, I refused to learn it. Sorry, I refused for a long time to do anything Discord related, but I do it for you guys. I think if you just join the Discord and just hang out in there, then you'll kind of either watch or feel like one day you want to contribute and that helps you kind of learn it, or not. I don't know how to use it outside of our community. I started using it for our community, and I also do like group gaming because I don't use Zoom. So also if brands want to communicate with me, they have to do it through Discord. But I don't know how to find communities organically on Discord. I've never done that. I've always been sent a link either to the person I'm about to talk to or the gaming night I'm about to attend. So it's pretty fair to say I also don't know how to use Discord. Like when people say they met their girlfriend on Discord, I'm like, how? There's a Philly Discord. Yeah, I know there's a Philly Discord affiliated with Philadelphia subreddit. And I always see Discords pop up in there to like organize shit. I really feel like I joined one and like got out of there pretty quickly. But also that is because I don't really know how to use a Discord that is really, really popping as well. This week, I met the YouTuber Armchair Urbanist, Alan Fisher, and he invited me into his Discord, and his Discord is so fucking crazy. He personally invited me into it while we were together, and to enter his Discord, I had to fill out a questionnaire, and then when I was in his Discord, I had to introduce myself, and a mod greeted me, and I just clicked on his Discord, and it's saying a pop-up came up, and it said, "Hey, what are your pronouns?" I wish I knew how to do all this. He told me he pays for his Discord. Oh, it says add this bot to your own server. Do you guys want it? I feel like while I feel like it would be super nice to have, I think I'm not sure if we need it. I think we're kind of a close community. I think we kind of know each other, right? There's a lot of coding for premium stuff in the fancier Discords. Oh, okay. Our community hella swag, though, to be fair. To be fair, our community hella swag. Anyway, if you have some shit, welcome to the crew garage sale. My example... Organic wind, let's go! Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for the Prime sub. I like how low-key and smaller community Discord is, TBH, because chat isn't going 10,009 miles an hour. I agree. I totally agree. I think if I got famous, it would ruin all of our lives. That's right. It's a dozen of us acting like elderly people sending memes and crafts. Yeah, I think I've talked about this before, but every morning in India, all their servers get overloaded because, like, grandpas send a hello gif every single morning to everyone they know. And I feel like our community has a similar vibe. We would just make a second Discord for the OGs, quite frankly. It's really hot in here, if you can't tell, me being drenched in sweat and this comb over that came... There we go. I want to open my window. Do you think I shouldn't? Is the Discord group only for members? So the Discord group is for subscribers. So if you subscribe to... Is it called subscribe? If you subscribe on Twitch... and then you connect your Twitch to your Discord, then you automatically get put in. Inu, thank you for the gifted. So that way, that's how I verify people in the Discord. That way, because Twitch verifies, I believe that you are a real person and that you have an email address and all of that stuff. So that's kind of our little cheat, I guess, to make sure our Discord is comfy cozy and there aren't, you know, that it just puts checks and balances in there. So you do have to be subscribed on Twitch in order to enter the Discord, because that verifies that you are just one singular person and not somebody who made a bunch of accounts and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? I haven't been opening my windows because I've already been sickly and I've been so sad. I need my fresh air. Yeah, it's so fucked in here. It is very, very hot in here. I chose to wear sweatpants because I am a silly goose, but I do have shorts in the other room. That at some point I might change into. Yes, if you didn't know, Philadelphia, the East Coast, I'd say, we were blanketed in a ton of smog from the Canadian wildfires. So it is not something that's completely uncommon in the United States, but it is something that is a phenomenon in the East Coast because we don't experience a lot of wildfires. We do get wildfires in New Jersey, but for the most part, it doesn't really happen because we're so much more wet. So much more moist. But Philadelphia has actually been experiencing a drought, and Pennsylvania at large. And god damn it, my street tree needs 5 gallons of water. Oh, that's good. So I've actually been kind of tracking the drought because I have a garden and a street tree. But because of this drought, because of the dryness and I don't know, whatever's happening in Canada, there has been these wildfires. And wildfires like this in Canada haven't happened for the last 150 years. So it is a phenomenon. While it happens in California, over here in the East Coast, it is uncommon. So similarly to when Texas got that frost and they were really unprepared for it, people in the East Coast are somewhat unprepared for wildfire smoke. So you may have seen all the pictures in New York where the whole sky and everything was orange. Yesterday in Philadelphia, we got the worst of it. And our numbers actually went higher than New York. Not bragging. But I've been watching a lot of coverage of it. And people say New York, and then they say DC. And I'm like, did you skip somebody? And why? Because one of us was mean to you once? Are you a baby? Report the news. So, Philadelphia was Smog City yesterday. And obviously I was really... Sev, hey! Obviously I was really distraught because it's kind of weird. When there's a catastrophic phenomenon, as there is, as there is now, you see a lot of people ignore it. And I feel like that's weird. I think it's really weird to be so blasé about the catastrophic event, because I'm like, what else are you doing? What else are you so preoccupied with that you can't give any time to the the phenomenon? We've been lucky. We've been getting a good amount of rain in the upper part of New England, so it hasn't been too bad in this area. The pictures are wild. The air quality in Texas has been bad, but Philly and New York are over twice as bad. Yeah, we had 465. And to give you guys an idea, you know, Philly isn't squeaky clean, but we usually chill at around like 51. All the times I've ever really looked were like at 51. I check the weather every day because I check the UV index and stuff. And I generally, if there's an air quality alert, I generally check it. And I feel like whenever I see air quality alerts, they're like 75. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, another junkyard caught on fire. That happens all the time in Philadelphia. That's not comedy. So, for it to be 465 is really, really concerning. And I had to go downtown yesterday. I had a meeting. So I was downtown in the thick of it while we were at like our worst point. And most people weren't wearing masks. I was walking around the neighborhoods. A lot of people had their windows open, were sitting on their stoop. So I do think it's quite interesting the amount of people who don't give a fuck about the phenomenon. And, you know, I really had to convince my boyfriend to give a fuck. And, you know, it's never appropriate to bring up Chernobyl. However, all of those people who stood on the bridge that night and watched the nuclear power plant, all those bridge people died. So I said, John, all of the people on the bridge died. You know. I was reading about how many more people are smoking now than pre-COVID. People are really just giving up. Yeah, I mean, I saw the normal heads in town wearing masks, you know, people who look like us. You can tell that one of their accessories is handmade, you know. I don't know what to categorize this as a group. Cat people, but not all of us even have cats. So I saw a bunch of freaks who had their masks on, but the Gen Pop, just normal day. And it was kind of weird because it wasn't, while it was invisible, it wasn't unnoticeable. It smelled like campfire. Today's Friday. So Wednesday, or even Tuesday really, I was cleaning the house. So I had the windows and the doors open. And I thought one of my neighbors a couple doors down was barbecuing. And I was like, he would barbecue at 9 a.m. And then I just went on with my day and didn't even think about it. I honestly thought that. And then, you know, when I sat down to read the news, I was like, oh my God, I was smelling it all day and really just thought one of my neighbors was smoking meats. And I was like, good for you, man. Get into your hobby. By Wednesday, I closed all of our windows because I was getting a sore throat and my eyes were burning. And by Thursday, that's when, you know, people were really freaking out. And a lot of those orange pictures were taking over social. So my throat, really sore throat, and just like eyes really burning. John came home from skating Tuesday, And he kept clearing his throat, and he was like, yeah, the allergies, I couldn't even skate, like, just my allergies took over. And then when we watched the news that night, I was like, I think you were, like, breathing in smoke. I don't think it was allergies. And then Wednesday, like, those pictures started taking over social media, and then Thursday it was the worst. So today is Friday, and things have decreased, you know, pretty much. Okay, to be honest, I feel like a lot of random disasters happen in Philly. Why is that? I don't know. And a lot of people call, like, Philadelphia government the invisible government, or like the invisible cabinet. Our mayor stopped showing up to things, and he'll just tweet shit now. He tweeted yesterday midday that he was closing like outdoor services, so that would be like Philadelphia Parks and Rec and like trash collection midday, when the worst of it was between Wednesday and Thursday night. So I was like, come on, man, you gotta show up to work. The guy in the basketball shorts, no. Our mayor is named Mayor Kenny. He has a really thick Philadelphia accent. He's just adorable, but he's never anywhere. He's never at work. I feel like the newspaper wrote an article about him recently, and they tracked how often he uses his parking spot, and they were like, he comes to work 4 days a month kind of shit. So this is all from the fires in Canada. Were they wildfires? Yeah, so they're like forest fires, right? There's not a lot of information about Canada and if they're okay. There's just information about New York and people doing yoga. I swear. I got campfire Tuesday night, but that's a normal smell in the suburbs. Wednesday, my water heater was getting fixed, and the guy had the door open and the windows were open. And an hour after the guy left, I smelled really strong campfire, and I was like getting TikToks that I should close mine. Yeah, by Wednesday we closed. No. Tuesday night we closed everything. That's when John said he was having like an allergic reaction. So it was started by some guys setting tires on fire. I swear. The river flood was an event. Oh my god. You know, I can't even keep track. And then before that, we had that giant barge that went into our river, and the water level rose while the barge was in there. And the barge was supposed to pass under a bridge, but the water level rose really, really quickly, and the barge got stuck under the bridge. And that was the same highway that flooded. I loved the barge. I wanted something really bad to happen. Yeah, the thing about wildfires is they devastate like all the natural, the wildlife, and we have so little of it left at this point. There's no birds anymore. There's no birds. There's no bugs. Not to sound dumb, but if someone really started the fire, are they going to get fined or going to jail? Like, what happens? I don't know what happens in Canada. I know, I guess it depends on what state it happens in, but I'm pretty sure when it's your fault that the fire started, you're responsible in some way. I know my late friend Ryan, who I talk about a lot, he was charged once with eco-terrorism because he rode his dirt bike off of the highway and he ended up riding into like somebody's cornfield, and he didn't like do fucking donuts and stuff, he just rode through it. I think the charges were dropped, but I mentioned any of that because eco-terrorism feels like a charge they just throw out. So I feel like for his, in comparison, much smaller offense, I think, you would get in a lot of trouble. I don't know the outcome, but I remember there was a gender reveal that included, like, I don't know, fireworks, pyrotechnics. There was a gender reveal that caused a giant forest fire. Do any of us know off the top of their head if they got in trouble? They always say it's like $1 million fine, and I'm like, okay, most of us don't have $1 million. So what actually happens? You know what I mean? Like, if they didn't go to jail, but they had to pay $1 million fine, and they literally can't pay the $1 million fine, does that mean nothing happens? That's how I kind of interpret it whenever there's something like that. Garnish their pay for $1 million. Sorry to drink that like a baby. If the government looked me in the eyes and said $1 million, please, what they could possibly do here, here's $4, baby. That's all I got. I think you would go into bankruptcy. So you file for bankruptcy, they take your Peloton bike, and then you're square. I don't know. I know, I forget the exact events. My block captain was telling me about this. I'm pretty sure either her daughter was I think she was in a car accident. And it was completely the other guy's fault. And the other guy didn't have car insurance or driver's license or anything. He was just like joyriding and crashed into my block captain's daughter's car. And she won the lawsuit, but he had no money. So they put a lien on his property. And if he ever tries to sell his house, legally, some of that money would have to go to my block captain's daughter. But he has no intention on changing any aspect of his life. So just kind of forever, nothing ever happens. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff like that. Like they'll put a lien on your house, but you're like, cool, so I just won't move. There's also like one of John's coworkers, he had like a bunch of kids with a bunch of women, like a bunch of different women. And his wages were garnished like almost all the way. So he just moved to a different country. I hear like fucked up stories all the time about how people don't pay for the thing. Nick Cannon's situation is a little different, although I'm completely versed in it if you want me to describe Nick Cannon's situation. Looking online, it looks like the couple who started the gender reveal wildfire got charged with involuntary manslaughter because the fireman lost their life along with 30 additional charges. You know what? I'm so glad that it was taken seriously, because I feel like there's cases where they go, oopsie, and the local government goes, oopsie, but that's just how we live here, and then nothing bad happens to them. Nick is probably paying for his children, hopefully. So the Nick Cannon situation is, I don't know how many kids Nick Cannon has, but it's not 10 yet. Or it's 10 and then his situation changes when he has his 11th. So I'll just be kind of general because I don't exactly know how many kids and mothers there are. Let's say 5 or 6. But Nick Cannon is a kind of a general celebrity. He's like the host of something. And when we were younger, he was an actor in things when we were younger. And I kind of don't remember. He wasn't on All That. I'm like, what was he in? I really don't know. I know Nick Cannon, but what was he in? Oh, does he have 12? Okay, so Nick Cannon has a bunch of kids. He's from something. He's a celebrity Drumline. Oh, I loved Drumline. Was he a Disney person? He was in All That? He had a show on Nickelodeon. Okay, that's it. So he was like, when we were growing up, he was kind of like in that. Like, imagine a Disney kid, but like the Nickelodeon version. So maybe a child star is fair to say. Anyway, he had twins with Mariah Carey, and then they divorced, and then he just started having kids with a few women who I don't really think are his partners or his wife. They're kind of just like loose partners, I guess you can say. He doesn't live with them. Some women he has like 3 or 4 kids with, others just 1, some he has 2. And because he doesn't live with them, whatever the terms of their arrangement are, he pays child support. So after 10 kids, the child support like agreement that Nick Cannon is in the state of California. So you have your 10 kids, pretend this is 10 kids. The very first kid, which in this case are the Mariah Carey twins, he pays child support to these kids. He must always do that. Then he had another kid, then he had another kid. So now that he has, pretend this is 10, now that he has 12 kids, these 2 kids get paid less in their child support because the main child support has to go to the main 10 kids. When the Mariah Carey twins age out of this situation, then these 2 kids then get paid more again. So I guess the idea behind that is normally there would be time in between all of these kids, but there isn't because Nick Cannon is having multiple kids a year with different partners, so it's messed up in that way. But normally if you were having kids on like a yearly cycle, then these 2 first kids would age out, and it would make sense that the money would be then distributed to the other kids who were aging and requiring more money. But yeah, Nick Cannon's situation is a little different. However, his twins are in great hands. They're Mariah Carey's kids. I don't even know why they would need child support. I don't think that's a controversial take. I think that they're fine. So I would feel like it would be symbolic. But yeah, his other kids, in order for them to get their full child support, let's say that they only get half until the first 2 kids age out after 10. Duggar shit. Oh yeah, you guys told me to watch Shiny Happy People, the documentary on Amazon Prime right now. I watched that shit. Girl, I was triggered. But I did watch it. Just not all in one sitting. I took my time watching Shiny Happy People. I was very glad it was 4 episodes. I was like, wrap it up. I thought all of the content of it was fine. They didn't, like, I talked about this before, but I think all these, like, episodic documentaries, I'm kind of like Hangshu. That doc was hard to watch. Yeah, so Shiny Happy People is, it's a documentary about this family. I did not watch this show. I don't think I watched any TV the year it was, like, on, or the years it was on. Not a brag. On TLC, there used to be this show called, like, 19 Kids and Counting or some shit, and it was these, this, like, really Christian family who believed in being quiverful, which is, like, to have the most kids as possible. So they had all these damn kids, and they were super Christian homeschool people, and there was a TV show about them. And I guess there's an episode where they, like, take them to Asia, and they're like, look. Look at Asia. I'm so jealous. My mom was obsessed with that show, and it lives rent-free in my head. Whenever I see young ladies on a reality TV show, I get really attached to them. So, I mean, my favorite show is Extreme Sisters. I was watching it before stream. I mean, I was doing my hair, so not wasting your time, but Naldo, thank you so much for following. Loved the girls. Loved the girls from 19 Kids and Counting. Obsessed with them. Hope they're okay. I was raised Catholic, and although I was not raised like Orthodox Catholic, the interesting thing about my stupid life is my biological father's family wanted me to be a Catholic child, but my mom is not religious. So I would have to go to Sunday school and stuff like that while my brothers and mom didn't go. And I was responsible for, like, my Bible study and stuff. And we, like, I would bring Justine to, like Bible camp, like vacation Bible school is called, something like that. So sometimes Justine would come because, you know, there would be a pool. But for the most part, my brothers and stuff and my mom, they are not religious people, just me. So that sucks. And we also had a priest who would take me into his office, and he would ask me to take off my shoes, and he would hold my feet. So I never thought that that was sexual harassment until I got older, and I was like, what the fuck? Every single one of you is a pervert, is what you're telling me? Every single fucking time you guys are perverts? Like, one of you isn't a pervert? Like, you hear about priests all the time. You hear about it all the time. And my lived experience is that it's fucking true. So, you know, I just never told anyone because I thought it was really embarrassing. I was like, I went to that church probably from like, probably like 11, like age 11 to 13. Before that, I was going to like a really strict Catholic church where I sat in the pews with all the adults. And then I was able to do like teenage kind of, I kind of graduated to that. So that was really exciting until it wasn't. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned this before. Wow. I've like mentioned it in passing, but I'm like not sure if it's very upsetting or not. So yeah, he would like, you know, he would sit me in a chair across from him, take off my socks and shoes, and just have my feet on his lap. And I was like, this sucks. But the whole thing sucked. And it was really embarrassing. Like, I'm gonna tell Justine that. I was like, damn, that fucking sucks. And the church is still there. I like want to tell them, but I just want to move on. Like, are you kidding me? Like, come on, man. So that was stupid. And he was like not an old man. He did the like what's it called when it's like your teenage responsibility, like your teenage part of church? It's Sunday school, but it's like something else. He was like younger, like I don't like 25 or something. He wasn't like an old youth group. Yeah. So he was our youth group leader, which is also cliche. I'm like, oh my god, is my youth group leader a pervert? So that was annoying. Anyway, I told John that when I met him because it kind of felt like important, I guess. So we're watching Shiny Happy People, and I'm like, let me guess. The pastor is a pervert. And then he was. And then the brother was a pervert. Then they were all perverts. I was like, every single fucking time you're a pervert. Did you tell your mom or your grandmom? I don't remember. It's possible I did, but I always wanted to get out of like all of my Bible, like my religious obligations. I always wanted to get out of them. Every Sunday a car came and picked me up for church, so my mom didn't drop me off. And she was able to make me feel really guilty because if I was dragging my feet getting ready like Sunday, she would be like, that car is going to come outside and be waiting for you and you're not ready. You're going to make those people wait. You know what I mean? Did that sound like your mom? So I would always feel really guilty and try and get out of it all the time. So I guess back then I either told them and they were like, didn't care, or they would think I was trying to get out of it, so I didn't tell them. Like, I feel like, you know, something genuinely super fucked up can happen to you, and you can kind of just, sometimes you're like, I wish this didn't happen to me, and you kind of just like move on. I think at the time I was just like really embarrassed, and I was like, this is embarrassing. Like, this is weird. But I actually didn't know it was like a sexual thing, like I said, until years later. So I think at the time I just thought it was really embarrassing. I wouldn't have known that what was happening was like a fetish. I wouldn't have known until later. So I likely didn't tell them. Or if I did tell them, I probably thought that it was like just a weird... I was probably like, yeah, my youth group leader wanted to touch my feet. And my mom was probably like, okay. Too much Nickelodeon with this one. So yeah, watching that, you know, I'm pretty lucky that that's all that happened to me, I guess. And just years later, I'm ashamed that it happened, and I feel bad for like the little girl that happened to. But luckily, you know, something worse didn't happen to me. But like, I'm really like, every single church has a pervert. Every single one. Everyone. All of them. Okay. Every single one. And you know, I'm speculating. But yeah, I watched that shit and I was like, oh, big surprise. I feel so bad for those girls. They have no choice. And those girls had no one else. Like, all the daughters in that family, they had their sisters and then they had their church because they were homeschooled. And who do you tell? You tell someone who's going to tell on you? You can't tell anyone. The whole shit is so weird. I don't know why anyone doesn't clock them, because they were talking about like these churches that they build, and the community homeschools all of their children with, you know, a Christian education and Christian education materials. And then those kids who kind of don't learn anything, those kids then work in the churches, and the same people who have been adults over them their entire lives watch them grow, and like almost like you know, coal powering a factory. These kids are the coal, and they train and brutalize these kids and minimize them, and they hit them. And they do that their entire lives until they're like subservient, goofy soldiers. And I'm like, does anybody... But people have kids and they hate their kids, and they're like, my kid cries. So they're like, oh, hit your kid for God. And you're like, cool. So you beat the shit out of your kid for its whole life, until it's just this fucked up, beaten down log of a person. And then you're like, yeah, dude, go out and be quiverful. But like, I don't know. I'm glad that the women in the documentary who were able to speak, like, it seems like they got out of it. One of the sisters, I think, wrote a book about, you know, leaving a cult or something. It seems like some of the other sisters are still religious in their own way, which, like, I think that it's nice they were able to find peace in their thing. So yeah, I watched the documentary. I thought that it was done well and the subject needed to be explored, and I'm happy with the timing of it coming out. They talked a lot about the children who have been, you know, in this system, and how those kids are now they're our age, and how they are now in government positions. They're like sleeper cell Christian kids. So I thought that was pretty interesting that this documentary came out now, so you can kind of be aware of it. And I think it's pretty interesting. I didn't know homeschooling had roots in racism, but like, I guess everything does. So I didn't know that homeschooling was a direct action to keep kids out of desegregated schools. So I kind of thought homeschool kids were like, and with peace and love, I'm so sorry, I kind of thought homeschool kids were like kids with like allergies, or like kids, you know, like I thought it was religious, but I also kind of thought it was like anti-vax kind of. I didn't realize that so many homeschool kids are like devout Christians, and it's like a Christian thing. Most homeschool kids, it's for religious reasons. I had no idea. I had never made that connection. All the homeschool kids I've ever interacted with, I felt like I didn't clock them as like religious kids, but maybe since I was also a kid and they were a kid, we just talked about kid stuff, and I wasn't like, why are you homeschooled? I was like, whoa, you live in the same development as Circus Survive? Can I come to your house? Yeah, so I learned that. I had no idea that homeschool was like such a religious thing, and I had no idea it was a call. It was also a racist thing. So I was like, oh, of course, the answer is right there. Racism. Cool, man. Most homeschool kids I met were really behind socially. Yeah. My sister wants to homeschool her daughter, and she recently became super religious. She's also an anti vaxxer and very conservative. I dated a homeschool kid for like a summer. Um, and yeah, I thought he was weird. But he liked all the same stuff as me. Just like when it was time for school, he wasn't at school. And then one time he had a hickey, and I said, "What is that?" And he said, "Oh, I was pinching my skin." And I really, to this day, have no idea if he cheated on me or if he was just doing weird shit. But I don't think his was religious reasons. I never thought that. I thought that his parents were really smart, so they wanted to homeschool him. Now I have no idea. But I met him because he would have to come to our school to take tests, and he was tall. My cousin wants to homeschool her kids because she doesn't want the possibility of a shooting. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought a lot of homeschool kids were. You feel like you're an acclimated, like, aware person, but I was genuinely like, what? When I found out that a lot of those homeschool people, it's religious reasons. Literally. I was like, what? Oh, thank you. I actually just grabbed this. Oop. My partner's brother has switched to homeschooling because of excessive bullying. They moved to another city, and now he's back in school, which is good because he's not going to be socially stunted. But they also moved to rural Georgia, so we just worry about the type of people he'll meet, be influenced by. Yeah, yeah, it's really tough. It's a crazy world. I know people have been saying that always, but I just really feel that way right now. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. My public high school took all the LGBTQ books out of their fucking library. I was absolutely appalled. It makes no sense. Um what So what was the group in high school where it was like called Gay Straight Alliance? Did you guys have that in your school? I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. We had that in like, I'm old. We had that back when I was in high school. And the same fucking school took the books out of the library? Yeah. I'm It's really fucking weird. Really goofy. And like I obviously can't get in the head of any of these fucking people, but when they take away the like base level, like your school's library tries to include everybody kind of shit, like base level, let's include everybody. Like when I went to high school, that was it. Everybody's included. If you want your club, I'll approve it. Everybody gets, whatever. Um when you take all this shit away, it makes the few remaining places need to be 10 times louder. Um, and then that's what these like fascists clock. They're like, look at that place, and now they have all these pride flags. And it's like, well, yeah, because now they have to be 10 times louder, because when there was 10 places where people could access information, you took those away and now there's only one. So yeah, they have to make noise. It's like, I was at Philadelphia Public Library this week because I go there a lot. And I mentioned on the stream that the Mothers of Liberty, they're planning a protest, and like, suck my dick. But so I was there, and they have like a queer space. And I was thinking, like, well, one, it's Pride, so it's not, obviously it's decorated and stuff for Pride. I was thinking, though, like, if somebody came into this space, they would think, oh yeah, this is very gay. This is very gay. And I'm like, well, when the LGBTQ literature was intermingled with everything else like normal, your stupid bigoted ass was looking for your stupid little book and spotted a gay book near your book, and you were like, oh, get this shit out of here. Okay, so now it's all out of there per your request, and it's all right here. Now you walk past this section and you're like, what's all this gay stuff? And it's like, well, we had to make it obvious. I'm like, why? What don't you understand? We're playing by your rules. 10 years ago, it was mixed and you had a problem. Now it has to be obvious for the people still looking for it. And now you're like, look how they're shoving it down our throats. I'm like, oh my God. Blaine, thank you so much. I have heard the argument, at least for some of those books, were taken out because they had X-rated fiction content in them in like middle school. I think that's fair. I watched this, you've probably seen it because it went viral, but it was this lady whose daughter had checked out Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid from her library. And I was kind of like, yeah, that was a bad call. Let's get Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid out of the middle school library. That is a bad call. Shouldn't have done that. Let's get that out of here. Do not put Miss Kobayashi in the LGBTQ section. Please put it at the bookstore. That one was a bad call. That one, ooh. Are you guys familiar with Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid? Kobayashi. Is it sexual? It's slice of life. It's slice of life, but how do I say? How do I... Oh, cool. I'm not frozen on here anymore. And thanks for following. Appreciate you. Okay. Okay, last stream, my shit was frozen. This is Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. And it's a slice of life anime manga. But some of the characters, like all the characters, I guess. All the characters, as you can tell, have these fucking cans on them. And while it's not a huge part of the plot, it is most of the gags. Like, there's a lot of gags, just like situational humor in the show, because and a lot of the gags are the boobies. Like, this dragon ends up living with like a little boy as his nanny kind of thing, and a lot of the gags are this boy's nanny has big boobs. Like, that's 100% always the joke there. It's the it's literally every single joke. I really like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. There's a ton of discourse around this, especially with this character, she's a dragon, so she's supposed to be like 10,000 years old, so it's okay to sexualize her, but she's obviously a baby, so it's not okay to sexualize her. You'll read a lot of that discourse online, and it'll make your brain heat up to a boiling point, and then your brain melts out. However, there's a really cute, like, queer relationship here, which I kind of watch for. This is my OTP here. It's a male gaze show about lesbians, but also I loved it. That's the best way to put it. Yeah, so this manga was in a student's library, and the mom found it, and that mom is actually right. That's a good mom. To be like, what the fuck? What is this? I stopped watching it after the maid made her eat her tail. Yeah. There is a spin-off manga about the boy dragon and his, like, otaku roommate that I want to watch. That I want to read. Also, I believe this production company, I think, caught on fire and a lot of the people died. So it's actually pretty sad. Yeah, it's a bummer because Kobayashi and Toru can be adorable and sweet, but they make so much gaze fan service to make the money, I guess. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll be in a lot of circles, like getting manga recommendations or like figure recommendations, although I don't collect figures anymore. That was a weird trip for a second. I'll be in like anime spaces, and when like adult men, this is their favorite character, I go, of course it is. Of course. Of course it is. If you've never seen this show though, kind of like a fart joke. Instead of fart, it's boobies. It's the gag in the show. Boobs. This is my best friend's favorite anime, and I know she's watching it for this. So I gave it a chance. Although her second favorite is Kill la Kill. So maybe it's a boobs thing. Yeah. If you are ever interacting with someone and you kind of suss out that they're a man and this is their profile picture, be careful. Don't give them any identifying information. Yeah, so while I don't think that every single book should go into the middle school library, I do think, obviously, that when you take away these spaces, the remaining ones have to get much louder. Sorry, men, but it's a red flag to like this anime. Yeah, I think this is a cool space. What did I want to talk about today? I'm like, okay, let's start the stream. I'm like, what did I do this week? And then I'm like, oh, I guess like nothing, right? Because we had to stay inside. Did you go back to, I forget the word, the boats? Yes, I'm back at the kayak rental and I'm so happy about it. Thank you for reminding me. It's really hot. Should I open my window? I don't know what to do. They said that you shouldn't have a fan on in a room with no windows open either. Any idea when you could do the big hair chop? I think soon. I guess I can do it. I'd keep it closed. Okay, I'm just gonna be sweating through my clothes. Everybody's cool with it. If any new followers come, let them know. Oh my god. That's bad. It's really hot in here. Usually when I stream, at least the windows are open. Bro, switch to shorts. Okay, thank you. That's bad. That one's, usually it's a little and that's okay. That one's pretty bad. Fan. Indy! Yo, that's awesome. Thank you so much for subscribing. 30 months. Yes, that was very cool. Hydrate. Yeah. Okay. Maybe, yeah, I should switch to shorts, I feel. We all sweat here, thank you. We'll switch to shorts, and maybe I'll have the door open for a second, and that'll help. Ay. Did any cats come in? This isn't sweat. I like, it's water. Yeah, I'm back at the kayak rental and I had my first night. My position there is I cover people, so I do not work there often. I'm like on call. but that feels like someone with a real jobs title. So I had my first tour. It's called something, but it's like a star tour, like a late night. Here they come. Here he is. Hi. Sit down, honey. If he sleeps, oh. If he sleeps, he can stay. Nope. What, baby? It's hot in here. You're gonna melt. You're gonna melt. Where's PB? PB lives on the couch. This is my bagpipe. It's not what bagpipes sound like. Oh. Let me raise the seat, honey. Here you go. Sing your song. Yucky! Ewy! Ewy! Big. Thank you. Put your butt right in my water. That's great. That's very delicious. You want to give me a kissy? Rosie sees Olive and wants to say hi. Oh. You want to say hi? Is this in your way? Oh. Yummy wires, huh? Mmm. I'm just a young man who wants to eat wires. You want to sit? Come here, wait. You want to sit? You want your own chair? Here. Sit with Bjork. Yeah, sit with Bjork. Do you ever bathe your kitties at home? I imagine that would be hard. Yeah, I gave them a bath Memorial Day weekend. I washed all of them. The hardest cat to wash is Olive. Oh. Oh. Do you hear Ethan? Can you hear him? We can. Yeah, he's meowing on the other side. I don't let Ethan in because he eats the plants. The plants are in here. Oh, big yawn. I'm trying to... What layer is this Quicken on? What? Okay, so I guess my Quicken watermark is impossible to touch. Just trying to give you guys more olive. Where? Sorry, we have cube. Okay, it's gone. Okay. We can still see him. Yeah, I was at the kayak rental. I was super, super happy to be back. I got there like an hour early so I could go on the dock and read my little book. I realized the book that I brought was really inappropriate. So I didn't know that. So I stopped reading it just because I didn't think that might be a good look in case somebody came to ask a question or something. We'll get like summer camps and stuff. And I didn't want them to be like, oh yeah, I stopped by and I noticed that girl was reading Dead Up Smut. I was reading Girl on the Shore. And you know what? I knew that, you know, it was about like a coming of age story, but I didn't know how much having sex was to coming to that age. But it was cool. It was cool to be down there. It was cool to touch grass. And I did the tour with my boss, which means no one was scheduled. But it was super cool. So we were cleaning the boats, and I had the misfortune of getting a boat that someone had definitely peed in. And he was like, no, someone probably spilled their beer in it. And I was like, okay. And I was cleaning and I was like, this is piss. And I put the boat to the side, thinking like, if he finished cleaning his boats faster than me, then he would eventually circle back and have to clean that one. And that's what happened. And I was like, that's piss. And he said, no. And I was like, no, it's piss. And then he took a second and he was like, what do we do? I was like, we have to put it back. So we brought the piss boat back to the shed. All I could think is that someone was on one of the tours, had to pee, and maybe was wearing a bathing suit and pissed themselves. I do not like when people come to the tour in a bathing suit. Because kayaking, you'll get wet, but kayaking isn't about getting wet. You're not supposed to. Like a really good kayaker on pretty level water is not going to get wet. So probably someone in a bathing suit probably just pissed themselves. I was like, why is beer better? I was like, somebody sneaking beer onto the tour sucks too. Come in a 3-piece suit. I accept that suit. Yeah, he put the kayak back in the shed as like definitely a later me problem. I think we have access to like a hose and stuff, but just not that late at night. So hopefully he hoses out the piss kayak. Because if we have a sold out tour, we'll need to use every kayak. Imagine pissing in the kayak. It's not kids. It's not kids on the tour. I was like, why is sneaking beer better? Yeah, it's definitely a jail sentence. It's my first connection back to working with the public as well, too. A forward-facing job. I work with all of you guys, but you're all very normal to me. There was like one guy, like a cheeky adult guy. He kept trying to like land these like inappropriate jokes. I'm trying to think of one. He was trying to make jokes in the spirit of like I took the short bus. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna laugh at this. I like absurdist humor. So if you say, is there a Loch Ness Monster in there? I'm gonna go. But, not that. It was definitely him who pissed. Boo! Do you guys have one of those portable washrooms? So we have a latrine. So I could see someone being like, I would rather piss my pants than use a latrine. But maybe we should just all learn how to squat over the latrine. I'm trying to think of like exactly what he said. Oh, okay, so he made a joke about being dull, and then I was leading the group, and the group was like, I think it was like a singles meetup kind of group, or just like an adult friendship group. It wasn't like, sometimes we get like science groups, or because it's like a private tour company. So I don't always even get a vibe for what the groups are. I don't normally ask. But this one I was told was like an adult meetup group. So I don't know if it was singles or like lonely people or something, or just adventurous people. But there was a group of people who were going really fast. I figured it would be a meandering group because they would want to talk to each other. But there were like 6 people who were like full out sprint kayaking. I was like, cool, that's my speed. So I kayaked to the front to be with the main group of people going faster than the bulk of the group. And at one point, I stopped all of us so they could catch up. And I just said something like, oh yeah, we're waiting, we're kind of a fast group, so we're waiting for the slow group to catch up. And the guy was like, yeah, I don't know why I'm up here, because I'm pretty slow. And I was like, ha! Like, leave me alone. I feel like pissing your pants in a kayak would be a horrible experience, even with a D. Yeah, good. That just makes me think more. Nothing worse than a middle-aged guy who thinks he's funny. I'm remembering him with a mustache, but I don't even know if he had one. Very mustache energy. So, other than that though, we're back, baby. I love the kayaks. I love the river. I love exercise. And I love adults doing stuff. So I did try to counter any weird thing he said with, like, it's great that you're doing something. You chose to do something today. Adventure. Don't look at that. So, you know, toxic positivity. I know, look at my bean. Look at my little baby. I tried to make this smaller and I don't know where it is. I have all these layers. Wait, is this it? No. And now I have no idea what I just moved. No, that's not it. It's not it either. Nope. I found it. Oh, I lost it. It really won't let me grab it. That's so weird. How's the bodybuilding stuff going on? So I looked up some gyms. We were talking about it on stream, and I really couldn't figure out what gym I wanted to go to. The one that was closer or the one that was nicer. So I'm still on the hero's journey there. What if I... Oh, okay. Someone remind me to put that back, I guess. Or not. My baby. So Twitch is changing some of their policies. Maybe you guys have seen it in the news. If not, I'll kind of summarize here. And if you have more information than my brief summary, please feel free. So earlier this week, Twitch announced that there are some policy changes around sponsored streams. So we've never had a sponsored stream. We had, like, you know, sometimes I'll announce something, but I've never been paid by a company to stream about their product. I've been approached a couple times, and like, I've been approached by Raid Shadow Legends and this, like, Resident Evil puzzle game. I've been approached by a couple games. But one of the reasons I haven't taken any of those sponsorships is just because there were, like, stipulations that I felt like I wouldn't be able to accomplish. And a lot of those sponsors will pay you based on how many people you can get to download the app or something with your unique code. And for a really big streamer, that is great. But for someone like me, you know, like, there's 75 of you guys right now. If sometimes, like, I know with the Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship, I would need 8 of you guys to download the game in order to complete the sponsorship. And sometimes they'll give you like 2 days to do it. So you're like, in your mind, you're like, okay, in 2 days, I can get 8 people to download this. But it's actually a lot harder than it sounds. So there have been a couple sponsorships that I've been offered, and I just wasn't sure. Right now, I'm actually in talks with having a sponsored stream for HelloFresh. And I've worked with HelloFresh on my YouTube channel, but as a streamer, it's like, even though we already work together and you know me, Quicken streaming might as well be a completely different person. The rate is much lower and the terms of the sponsorship, in my opinion, are much more difficult. But that being said, if I was only a streamer, this would be an opportunity for me to have a sponsored stream. So it's actually talking to HelloFresh right now, and this week Twitch changed their sponsorship guidelines. I will download Raid Shadow Legends on 8 accounts to get you that bag. Well, thank you. I just thought it's, like, kind of embarrassing. My new thing is thinking things are really embarrassing, so my therapist should probably be CC'd on that, like crossing the street. Yeah, so I just thought it would be really embarrassing if I had a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship and I couldn't get 8 people to download it, and then I didn't get the sponsor. I don't know. You know what I mean? Can you see how that's embarrassing? The HelloFresh thing is similar, and instead of downloading something that's free, you would have to sign up for HelloFresh, but Avril Lavigne is 38? That's younger than I thought, actually. I thought she was like 42. Anyway, I'm actually in talks with HelloFresh. I haven't signed anything yet. But this week, Twitch changed their sponsorship policy, and you can't have any burned in images on your stream anymore. That reminded me of that because this here is technically a burned in image. It's a layer I have on my stream. It's not like something interactive. Like, now if you have a sponsor, you almost need to like set up a whiteboard or something in your background and like write HelloFresh on it. Like, I think I would have to have like the box HelloFresh in my background, but I could not have an image that I put on my screen that says HelloFresh. Like, you can't have that, but I could have, yeah, like the HelloFresh box in the background. I just can't figure out why. Unless Twitch is going to start their own in-house sponsorships, I don't know why they wouldn't let us have like the burned in image, but you can have an object. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, that's the thing they picked. If they explained it to me, I would be more understanding. You know, the people calling for a strike on Twitch, I love strikes, I would join it. They really, you know, our split on Twitch is like 30-70 or something like that. It's pretty bad. But I like being here, so I'm like, whatever, no choice. Like, that's what it is. But yeah, for them to also do that about sponsors, I've never had a sponsor on here. A lot of people are saying it's their main source of income. And when a lot of people are complaining about something, it's also how you can kind of learn about it. So I was actually like, damn, maybe sponsorships on Twitch do work. Maybe they are good. Especially for a lot of streamers saying it's their main income source. And they're like big streamers. Because my main income source here is you guys subscribing. So, yeah, so it's not 50-50. Who gets the 70? Amazon. Some creators have custom splits, but those are creators with like agents. So Pokey, Hassan, XQC, they have private contracts. I have a general partnership contract. And I actually became partnered shy a couple weeks of policy changes, so my split would have been better if I was on the old contract, but I'm on a new contract, so the split isn't really different. I'm partnered, but I make the same amount as I ever did as an affiliate, so I like didn't get a raise when I became partnered, which is why you probably heard me say being partnered doesn't change anything, but it is an honor. And being partnered is really cool. Is Stream now a bigger income for you than YouTube? It's really what you put into it. When I put a ton of work into YouTube, then that's when I get paid. But when I don't work on my YouTube channel, then it's nothing. So whenever I put energy into it, that I get that energy back out as income, I guess. It's like a farming sim. So right now, since my channel doesn't have like any new videos on it, like not really. Is Advanced GG still good? We still doing that? I don't know if it would be uncouth for me to talk about it, but I'm in like an agency with a bunch of like goth chicks, and we all kind of joined together, and then they started like ranking us, and it was like kind of ugly that they were doing that. Obviously, we all have different audiences, and we all bring in different numbers and different people. But yeah, like we all went into it with like, you know, we all went into it with this number and all agreed. And then after a couple months, they wanted to like cut that in half. Like, I know it's business, but it was like kind of, I don't know, kind of sad. Do you make much from old vids? Not really. It's good that they're there. And I'm happy that they're there, but not really. Do you think the editor will be able to help you get more YouTube videos up? Absolutely. And I'm super excited about that. Oh, I was hoping you would. Like not really. Like, I guess the right answer is no, but it feels like rude to say no. It's not 0, but it's not 100. I feel like every video has 2 non-skippable ads currently. Isn't that a good time to make vids? No, it doesn't really change anything for us. I still watch Tattoo Talk Tuesday vids on Tuesday. Well, thank you, Scarlett. I appreciate it. Yes, my editor has given me some assignments, and I've been doing pretty good about them. I spent the week editing, so it's like, yes, I have an editor, but my editor is going to be taking the like final pass on my videos. So let's say a normal video takes me like a week to edit. Now with this new thing, I'll edit the video for like a day and then pass it to him, and let's say he edits it for another day. That's kind of like our new system. I'm really excited about it. I have been like, I talked about this on stream, so some of you guys may have heard me say this already, but I'll edit my video and then I get to a point where I just like I can't do anything else with it. I can't look at it. I can't think outside of like my, so I either don't post them, or I'm like, I can't spend another second with this video, and then I post it unfinished. So an editor, I think it's going to be great to talk to somebody and collaborate with somebody, because this is a very isolating job. By design. I mean, all other creators are your competitor. A lot of people won't share tricks, tips, information, strategy. So you're kind of very alone. You're editing very alone. You're kind of stuck with your own ideas, and it can be difficult to look outside of those. Having an editor, not only will someone be putting new eyes on my content, somebody who is a professional editor, that's the only thing they do, so they don't have to focus. They don't have to think about all the other things I think about. They're just there to edit. They're good at it. They're fast at it. They're unbiased. It'll also be like another person like on my team. I'll be able to talk to them and be like, did you like that? And if they're like, yeah, you should explore that. That's like somebody who's giving me feedback, which is really cool. So having an editor too, just socially, I think will be a net good for my videos as well. I don't, other than Valonius, my manager, who hasn't been my manager very long, you know, other than that, it was kind of just a one-man show. And yeah, that's pretty tough. It's tough to do that. I know there's people who make videos on recommendations for YouTube content creation, but yeah, that's frustrating when everyone is in it for themselves, like tips and best practices. The thing about those videos is, you'll watch a video that's like how to get 1 million views, and the video doesn't have 1 million views. I feel like all the best tips, all the best secrets, no one shares. No one is telling you. Or you just can't do it. Like, I know Mr. Beast, he's on a ton of podcasts and he'll tell you all the time, like, this is what I do and this is how I became successful. But I feel like none of it matters because Mr. Beast is successful because he threw a bunch of money into it. Like, he'll talk about his work ethic and he'll talk about his branding and his products and his strategy, but he spends a ton of money on all of his videos, and that is my takeaway. I always, I'll watch any little thing he's on, but he always says that. His thing is like thumbnail. The thumbnail is the most important part of the video. And the video is, I bought my friend a house. I'm like, the thumbnail? Yeah. Yeah, the thumbnail. So much luck as well. PewDiePie is another one too. Like, how did that happen? I don't know. Yeah, Mr. Beast, he tapped into something primal in all of us, which is money. His cookies from Walmart taste like shit. I think Jimmy's a nice kid. I don't think I have anything bad to say about him. But those cookies are rancid, girl. I often think about the you've got to spend money to make money for creators like Safia Nagard, who's been spending like $25K per video. Yeah, her videos are so good. I hope she's having fun. They're definitely very, very, very expensive. Personality wise, I can't get on board with Mr. Beast. I don't watch his videos. I think that he's a nice young man. But that stuff isn't for me. I like watching like people who live in a small house organize their spices. That's kind of the shit I'm on. I thought he was older than me. He's only like 23, right? Yeah, he's really young. Oh, PewDiePie? I like PewDiePie's wife. She's very cute. I used to watch her videos. She left YouTube. A lot of YouTubers who leave YouTube still keep their videos up, but Marzia deleted all of hers. I used to gobble that shit up. But she took them away. Um, yeah, what have I been watching on YouTube? My partner and I share an account, so it's usually so fucking thrashed. And anytime I listen to jazz, it takes over my whole shit. So I'm like, I guess I can't enjoy jazz if I want to have an algorithm. Skate video. Family of 5, Simple Home in Japan. Watch that shit. None of Can California finish its high-speed line? I guess I'm not watching a ton of behind the counter at a local Japanese bento shop, day in the life of a Japanese baker. And then I listen to a lot of music on YouTube. That's kind of like the main thing. Oh, Defunctland, shout out. Yeah, this is all music. A lot of music. Deadmau5. I watch a lot of Metal Jesus Rocks. If you want something like really wholesome, just really, really good, just like a happy person who likes the thing that they do. This is one of my favorite YouTubers, Metal Jesus Rocks. He's awesome. He totally deserves 1 million subscribers. That would make his fucking day. He's just this like rocker ass dude who's into retro gaming and was just kind of cataloging his interest and went viral and was able to do this full time. It's kind of like if you gave your uncle the gift of being a YouTuber that paid for all his expenses and he was like, well, now what? He's awesome. His best friend is named Reggie, and Reggie's really awesome too. They're just like really cool uncles who love retro gaming, and they don't have a bias, so they'll mention a game that you probably thought was the dumbest thing ever, and they're like, oh, I love that game. Look at this. What fucking game is this? What game is this? He's about to tell you something remarkable about it.
Well, I had to pick this up.
Yeah.
I like the Raiden series a lot.
I think I have a copy of this.
You have this one too?
Yeah.
It just recently came out for the PS4, so I said, you know what, let me go ahead and pick that up. Because it originally came out on the Xbox 360, and that was like a more...
What? I love them. I love Metal Jesus Rocks. He's the best. But he has like a Metal Jesus Rocks universe of people, and this girl Kelsey owns a retro gaming store, and he asked if he could tour it. And she's really into Animal Crossing, so then anytime he has to do like Animal Crossing content, she just does it on his channel. He's really cool. I'm into the whole Metal Jesus Rocks universe. But, you know, they just tore her store. I like a lot of these kind of regular ass people, YouTubers. I don't like things that are really produced, and I'm finding I don't really like currently like a video where a person sits down and like tells you. I like these more interactive videos where like something is happening. Is he in the woods? Like, I think something is happening right now with Miranda Sings. And I tried to watch a video about it. And even though I wanted the information, I don't really like the old YouTube format. Like, the beauty guru kind of just, like, sitting there telling you. I don't know if it's my attention span, but, yeah, I was really trying to watch it. And I was like, I don't think I have a taste for this anymore, even though that's like how I produced 99% of my videos. Look at this 3DS games I still play video. Look at the intro. Look at that. Look how he did that. I love him so much. You guys know that I love to travel.
What I like to do is mix up which handheld I take with me on my trip. Recently, I took a road trip down to Portland, Oregon for the SideQuest Expo.
He went to Japan, and he's so fucking tall.
Yes. It had been a couple months since I had messed around with the system, but it got me thinking what some of my favorite games to play on it are, and so I'm going to share that with you now. Now, there are 2 Luigi Mansion games.
Luigi Mansion. You gotta follow Metal Jesus Rocks. He's the best. I love him so much. He's really just a grateful, nice guy. He's just really wholesome. Yeah, I actually tried to find like a Miranda Sings video for us to watch on stream because I don't know what's going on. I never watched her though. I never watched like those older YouTubers. Miranda, PewDiePie, like his older like video, him coming of age. Onision, I would have never. Shane Dawson, I didn't watch. Like those early days of YouTube. Oh, Olive is giving himself a bath. What am I doing? Yeah, let's go. Joey, yeah. I always watch Jenna, though. I always watch Jenna Marbles. Hello, I'm from Vietnam. Nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so I've actually never seen a Miranda Sings video. I know she, like, became a mommy vlogger. And I thought for a second I might check in and see what her house looks like. But I just never ended up doing it. And now I think she's being canceled. I'm not a big family YouTuber person. There is one YouTuber that will sometimes put his kids in his videos. And I have to admit that I like when his kids are in the videos. However, he's like... It kind of like makes sense. Oh, he's really going into his butt there. It really makes sense, I guess, that his... From like an anthropology standpoint, it kind of makes sense when his kids are in his videos. Because it's like, this is what breakfast is like in Japan.
This is what Japanese breakfast is like. Not me. Like now, my mom is making eggs, and it's called tamagoyaki. A little bit. Smash it, make it mushy.
His kids are not in a lot of his videos, though. They are. They're kind of not, though. When he moved to Japan, his kids were, like, more fluent than him. I feel like there's this, it's 7 years ago. He doesn't have his kids in his content anymore at all. But he does have this video where he goes to this restaurant with his kids. And his kids understand more Japanese than him. At least at this point, 7 years ago. So I kind of feel like he needed his kids a little bit in these videos to make them work. But this is the only like close to family vlogging experience I've ever watched. Life Where I'm From is actually my favorite YouTuber. When I was invited to YouTube, I did like a little presentation on him, and I didn't need to. He has 1 million subscribers. His videos are super fun. But yeah, a little bit, like a little instinctually, a little, like, I, like, fell for these kids. I really thought that they were the best part of the video. I don't, like, know their names or any shit like that. But
Hello world, I'm from Japan. This is a family sushi restaurant site. And this is how we take it. It just goes up there. I got it. Uh-oh. Wait, no, I need to do this. I'm gonna get it.
You push it on the top, and then it goes up.
Oh, well, it's scarred. Wait,
Push it. Don't you? Or you just
oh, so this is the video where they like go to a restaurant and the daughter kind of has to order. So that's what I'm talking about. But other than this maybe unique example, yeah, a lot of family content, like what's that one, like, I think the guy's name is Austin Butler. He's like a family vlog and they like all wear Balenciaga or something. Bye, flowers. Have a nice time at work. Yeah, it is. It's super organic. That's true. That's 100% true. While it's not completely organic. Like, he brought his kids to that sushi restaurant for the sake of filming. He's not telling his kids what to do or say, and he's not pranking them. Isn't Austin Butler an actor? Oh God, what is the family channel, the like big one? Ace Family. Yeah. What is his name? I think it's Austin, right? I don't know. McBroom. Yeah, that's his name. I'm so sorry, Austin Butler. I think Austin Butler is someone Brittany Broski has a crush on. It's hard to keep track of all my Austins. There was this one family channel where the couple had like 10 kids and lived on the road in a camper and would film, and when they forgot to do dishes or something, it was pretty invasive and felt bad for them. Yeah. If you oh, my baby. If you remember Daddy 05, it was a family channel. But imagine like the most white trash Newport smoking blended family you have ever experienced. And by blended family, I mean kids from first marriage, kids from second marriage. Ave, thank you so much for subscribing. And while there's not anything wrong with having a blended family, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to make happen, and if you neglect that work, it makes for, a tough experience. Look at him. Look at his hands. I can't get anything done because I'll walk past Olive and he looks like that. So Daddy of Five was this channel where this guy, I guess his second wife had her kids, and then he had his kids, and then they ended up having 5 kids. And he was just filming them. And it was kind of a time in their life where it wasn't
puberty, but these young kids who were kind of thrown into this brand new family dynamic were trying to get along, and he was just fucking filming them. And he was filming them, and like no one gave a shit. And he would be like, I like Marvel. I like Spider-Man. Here's my son. And everyone was like, shut up. And then one day he fucking pranked his kid. And that video got a bunch of views. So he did another video where he pranked his kid. And that video got a bunch of views. So then his quasi-normal, nobody gave a shit though, channel turned into a prank channel. And he just started fucking pranking the shit out of his kids. Instead of nurturing them or guiding them while they were in this complicated part of their lives, he just made all of them share bedrooms and then just fucking pranked the shit out of them. And his audience became to have this psycho-parasocial relationship with him, and they started to ask him to really prank his like red-headed stepchild kid, which literally that's what that was. And they were like, yeah, really get him, prank him. And he was like, okay, I love money and I love being socially accepted. So this child's father would do things like draw all over the walls, and then when his red-headed child would come home, he'd be like, why did you do that? And instead of it being like what's a prank? Like, I think like a prank would be if he had a Buzz Lightyear lunchbox, sending him to school with a frozen Elsa lunchbox, being like, ha, that's for girls. But instead, he would draw all over his wall, and then the kid would come home, and then the dad would come in and go, did you fucking draw on the wall? Did you fucking draw on the wall? Did you do that shit? I'm not gonna feed you. And that literally was the video. And they would film that kid experiencing true terror. And then at the end, and this has become a meme. This is where this meme comes from, by the way. At the end, they would go, it's just a prank. It's just a prank. I drew on the wall. Ha ha ha. I drew on the wall. And they would do things like that. But I genuinely think the audience and the dad started to truly hate this child. There was like one video he posted where they were all going to go to Disney World and they didn't buy a ticket for him. And they told him, and they recorded it, but also literally they didn't let him come. He did not go with them. So I also think that whatever he was trying to perpetuate with this like redheaded child of his, I think he also began to believe it and treat him that way. Like they would go into his room and break his Xbox, and then they would go, we'll just buy you a new one. It's just a prank. I remember there was a video where they do that. They run into his room and they break his Xbox with like a bat or something. And you can tell that he was playing Minecraft or something like that. And he's really just like a little boy. He's really like a 6-year-old boy, you know. And if you had younger brothers, like little boys are just like, they have like crust on them, and they have like, they're like kind of just dirty and weird. But like you love them, and their rooms are gross with like crust and just slime and boogers. Like little boys are disgusting, but like you love them. And he would go into his room, which was a stereotypical little boy's room with like an old juice, and just like, and he would just fuck everything up. It was so sad. Like, being like, I'll just buy you a new one is really fucked up. So Daddy05 was like one of the OG family prank channels. And YouTube did remove the channel, but then other channels that do the same thing are still around. Cheeto Crumbs. Yeah. I have 2 younger brothers, and their rooms were disgusting. If they took something of yours and it ended up in their room, it was like the set design from the Labyrinth. Just disgusting. John, thank you so much for following. They really traumatized the fuck out of that kid. So the video that caused their channel to completely get fucked and taken down, and people called child services, and there were criminal charges pressed on them. There was like the redheaded stepchild kid. They had this like disappearing ink, and they put this ink all over the house. And when the kid came home, the stepmom, who had this like raspy cigarettes voice, the stepmom was like, "Who did this with all this ink?" Literally, that's a spot on impression. Literally, clock me. And he was like, "I don't know." And she was like, "You fucking did it. You piece of shit. I'm so tired of you." I was like, what's the point of it even being invisible ink if you're just going to tell him he's a piece of shit? We could have done this prank differently, I guess. If you were going to abuse this child, at least creatively, you could have put the ink, and then the ink gradually disappears or something, and you gaslight him, I guess. And he's like, "I swore there was ink here." But it didn't even need to be disappearing ink. She just like berated him and screamed at him and like cursed at him. So it like wasn't a prank. It was like you abusing your child and then taking it back. But it seems like that is the nature of pranks, and I wonder what Daddy05 did to us as a society. But all of his viewers should be on FBI watch list. Like, I never watch any of Daddy05's content because that's voyeurism. But when he was being exposed, I wanted to know about that stuff, and the episode with the ink literally made me cry instantly. Like something instinctual happened in me, and when I heard that raspy voice, I just started crying. When I was at YouTube, I would meet a variety of YouTubers, and it really opens your eyes to how many types of people there are, and how many interests there are, and how many YouTubers there are. I met a roller coaster influencer. I met, like plus size influencers. I met, like not sketch comedy, but like sketch children's show creators. And I met, family vloggers. And when it was a couple and they came together, obviously with other kids, they had gone really viral for like a watermelon video. And not viral like me, viral like Mr. Beast. So they quit their jobs and did it full time after this watermelon thing. And I actually got partnered with them for a group activity, and I was really charmed by them. I thought that they were really cool and nurturing. Like, I at one point feel like they pat me on the head, but they were also really savvy business people, which caught me off guard. I ended up really liking them as people because they were really nice to me, but yeah, I was also really surprised about how business savvy they were. when I would go to these YouTube workshops, it was always like you were telling me something for the very first time. But we were talking and we were working on like elevator pitches. And I remember they were very, very good at it very quickly. Do the Fine Brothers still make React videos? Didn't they try to trademark the term React? I wonder if they still make stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I've never watched any of Miranda's videos. I heard that she became like a mommy vlogger, but never tuned in. I used to watch this one beauty guru pretty regularly named Ciao Bella, and her content was basically like a family vlogger without the baby, and I ate that shit up. And then I guess I just kind of grew out of it. I think eventually she did have a baby, but I can see why people get involved. I do think the heyday for that though has passed. But I don't know. I'm not in the scene, I guess. Ciao Bella was like Nicole Guerrero, like OG beauty guru. Like, would set up their camera in their car, drive to Ulta, buy NYX lipstick, and try it on in the car. Like, OG girls. I used to watch Tati because she got so many PR boxes. It was interesting to watch what she got. Is she's still doing her thing? I always liked that she was an older YouTuber. I know that that's like a little rude. If someone said that about me, I would go, thanks. What does Jenna do? I don't know. Does anybody know? I just make up shit that I think she probably does. And I'm like, yeah, probably. I saw this thing earlier on on Twitter, that someone got a $7 Nintendo Switch off of Temu. Do they have sticks in them? Landscaping figure. How do they stay? Do they have like a little stick? I don't see a stick. She fosters work with a greyhound rescue called Grey Save. You know what? Someone must have said that to me, because otherwise I completely made that up and got it right on the money. I'm subbed to so many beauty creators I do not watch. I unfollowed a lot of them just because I wasn't watching. I used to really follow that one girl. She would like go to TJ Maxx and do like a full face of TJ Maxx makeup. I thought she was so fun and had like an accent, like a mid-Atlantic accent. But she got canceled in like that Jeffree Star drama, and everyone bounced back except for her. What the fuck was her name? Laura Lee. Yes. I really feel like Laura Lee completely got canceled. I used to like her stuff. I felt like it was really honest. And she was like raising her niece. I was like, good for you, Laura Lee. She got fucking canceled. Her podcast with Manny is popular too. Right now, she came back. I'm glad. I don't know much about her being canceled, but I felt like it was too much. I felt like the punishment didn't fit the crime. I liked Manny too. I also felt like he got canceled and didn't really need to. Oh, Larly got canceled for being racist? Oh, okay, never mind. I thought you got canceled for, like, Jeffree Star stuff. I wanted to be like, well, she was right. But if she's racist, then never mind. I'm looking at Olive. I want to bitch about Jeffree Star. Is he selling guns and yak meat and is transphobic, or at least non-binary phobic? He's too psycho for me. I don't know. I have a hard time with this because not Jeffree Star, but like Trisha Paytas has been canceled like a million times, and I'll see something that Trisha did and I'm genuinely like, I love it. Another masterpiece. And then I'm like, wait, no. But Trisha, like, it's such an anomaly. I'm just so, my curiosity, I don't know, like, someone posted the other day that now Trisha's into, like, spirituality and crystals and stuff. And her husband, I guess, went to, like, Five Below and decorated one of the rooms in her house with like crystals and like a sheer curtain and a lava lamp. And she was like, on my spiritual journey. And I was just so fucking obsessed with it. I always go back to Trisha. How does she do it? How does she do it? He went on Amazon and made her a meditation altar in their guest bedroom. I was like, this is so deranged. I watch. I mean, I don't support Trisha in any way. I wouldn't buy anything she's doing. I don't know about anything she's doing. When it comes up on the timeline, though, my eyes are open. But I don't, like, if it's a bit, I'm fully committed to the bit. If it's her real life, I don't support it. I don't know. I can't explain it. It was his 1-year anniversary gift to her, too. Huh? I don't know. Trisha reminds me of Jeffree Star. I don't know why. They're from the same cinematic universe, I think. I don't know. Did Trisha start on MySpace? Trisha will, like, be in stuff, too. And it, like, gives her more status to me as just an unhinged person. She doesn't take care of her baby. Y'all remember when people were saying the Queen of England was reincarnated into Trisha's baby? See, that's the funniest thing I have ever fucking heard of. It's so online and just absurd. And I did not mean to have an absurdist sense of humor. But I do. And here I am. Trisha also being everywhere, yeah, it's nuts. Trisha was in an Eminem video. Isn't that hilarious? Like, I feel like I'm going crazy. She was also in the X Factor. She is a comedian. Wasn't she on Dr. Phil for having an addiction to fake tan? Please. This is somebody with an IQ of 1 billion. Yeah, see how Olive sleeps? Can you imagine me getting anything done? Impossible. His mouth is open. His little mouth is open. Sometimes, though, his eye is a little bit open while he's asleep, and it's scary. She was on Dr. Phil because some guy hated her for being slutty online. God, that's so fucking good. Please. It's so good. We could zoom in. We're gonna have a cube for a second, but... She was on an episode of My Strange Addiction for the fake tan thing. Oh my God. Not My Strange Addiction. Come on now. See what I mean? I'm supposed to ignore that? Q, have you heard of Swedish death cleaning? Yes, I have. I feel like I had some problem with it, some philosophy that I didn't agree with. Can you remind us what it is? Isn't it like if you haven't touched a thing for 6 months, throw it away? I felt like that didn't work for me for whatever reason. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. This lady is getting some mass awareness. Who, Trisha? I don't know what to tell you. You guys are online. It's an anomaly that I'm captivated by. I zoomed in, but I feel like he's not closer. As someone who's had to clear out 2 people's stuff after they've passed away, I would rather people clean themselves. Negative! Whoa, finally my sub alert from this morning. LOL. Love and hugs all around to you and chat. Work has been so booty butt cheeks, so thank you for streaming and taking my mind off it. Yeah, I've been missing you. It's kind of Marie Kondoing, but also asking your relatives if they want it after you die. And if they don't, you get rid of it, sell it. Okay, let's look up if you have a link right in front of you, definitely post it. I'm looking up the definition now. Because I watched a YouTube video on it, and maybe the lady just didn't sell me on it. Swedish? I love typing. Instead of gaming, I wish I could just be a typing streamer. Watch Swedish Death Cleaning on Peacock. It's a TV show? On Peacock? Now I have to get Peacock? Okay, no definition is coming up, just the TV show. There's no wiki? Oh, there's the video I watched. Flopped for me, man. Swedish Death Cleaning Beginner's Guide. Okay, I'll watch it. Where's he going? Is he gonna go somewhere? John just got home, so he probably hears him. A big stretch. Oh, I love Olive so much. Look at his foot. I'm sorry, I have a website up. I'm just looking at Olive. Look at his beard. He's the best beard. Oh. He has the funniest teeth. Did I tell you I took him to the vet and they said he had bad teeth, and then I took him back 6 weeks later and they said he had great teeth and I didn't do anything different? Oh! Oh! I was talking about you, honey.